Welcome to Downtown Sports. My name is Downtown Stephen Brown, and in today's video, we're going to be doing something a little bit different. The last time I remember the Leafs being this low in the standings was the 2014-2015 team. I don't count the 15-16 team when they tanked Frost and Matthews because we expected them to be bad. But the 14-15 Leafs were the Horacek Leafs. And I know that there's a lot of buzz around the team right now with Sheldon Keefe just coming in and them winning 3-1 against the Arizona Coyotes last night. But I decided to do this video and take a look at where all those players are right now from that 14-15 team. So, like and enjoy, guys. Phil Kessel spent the last 4 or 5 years of his NHL career dunking on every single member of the Toronto media, and he currently plays for the Arizona Coyotes, who the Leafs will see later on this week. Looking forward to the inevitable hat trick that he scores. Jake Gardner, for some reason, is still trick-or-treating at the ripe age of 29. Eric Brewer played 18 games for the Toronto Maple Leafs in his career and was part of the weirdest 1,000th game ceremony ever. TJ Brennan was and forever will be an AHL legend. Andrew McWilliam is in Rochester. And also, who? Carter Ashton is somewhere in Russia. David Booth? Well, David Booth is tweeting stuff on Twitter. Jonathan Bernier is with the Detroit Red Wings and still doesn't know who Nelson Mandela is. Peter Holland. Well, while I don't really know what Peter Holland is up to these days, I can tell you that one of the only Maple Leafs games that I have been to in the last decade or so was the one where he scored the shootout winner against the Leafs while on the Arizona Coyotes. So congrats to Pete for that. Matt Fratton was once one of our better prospects, but now is in the KHL. Cody Franson is somewhere in Russia, and rumoredly he's still underrated. Tim Eriksson is in Sweden. Mike Santorelli was a guy that played half a season here in Toronto, and his last registered season on HockeyDB was somewhere in Switzerland. Colton Orr follows a bunch of Maple Leafs fans on Twitter, which is pretty cool. Morgan Rielly is still very much our boy here in Leafs Nation, but if there's one thing that we can all agree on, it's that he needs to stop shooting from the point. Stuart Percy had a bunch of unfortunate injuries during his hockey career and was once one of the Maple Leafs' top prospects. He now plays for the AHL Belleville Senators. Richard Panik actually went on to have a 20-goal season for the Chicago Blackhawks a few years ago and is now playing with the Washington Capitals. No, the 20-goal season is not a joke. Brandon Kozin went on to be a legitimate KHL star with 194 total points in 246 overall games. Joaquin Lindstrom, him too. Leo Komarov, or Uncle Leo, is currently on the New York Islanders, where hopefully he is not playing 3-on-3 overtimes. Yes, that is a thing that Mike Babcock did for a while. I'm not too sure where Ole Jokinen is, but that's still weird. Lots of people had a lot of mixed opinions on Josh Levo over his time with the Toronto Maple Leafs, but he's currently on pace for 39 points with the Vancouver Canucks this year, so hats off to you, Josh. Nazem Kadri allegedly only sees red, and that is the reason why he was suspended in back-to-back playoff rounds against the Boston Bruins, but he currently plays for the Colorado Avalanche and has 15 points in 20 games at the time of this recording. Casey Bailey is still a white guy. David Clarkson is still employed by the Toronto Maple Leafs. Corbinian Holzer. Everyone tip your hats off to this guy who is still playing games for the Anaheim Ducks. James Reimer is currently with the Carolina Hurricanes, probably still being the nicest person alive and allegedly still working on his glove hand. James Van Riemsdyk spent 6 years in Toronto, but still the only NHL organization that he's ever signed a contract with has been the Philadelphia Flyers, where he currently plays. It's rumored that it was the same mouth guard the entire time. Joffrey Lupul injured himself just by being mentioned in this video. Greg McKegg currently plays for the New York Rangers after a stint with the Carolina Hurricanes. Petter Granberg is in Sweden, and yes, I'm sure it's not Peter. Roman Polak. Now, a lot of you are probably expecting me to make some kind of offhand comment about him, but to be real, Roman, get better, buddy. Jack Edwards had no right to do you like that. Sam Carrick is an AHL legend with the San Diego Gulls. Trevor Smith, parts unknown. Daniel Winnick is probably still being traded for second-round picks. Stefan Robida. Actually, I gotta interrupt the video for a minute. I gotta make a quick phone call just to make sure that they didn't forget him on the island. Troy Bodie still doesn't look like a guy you'd want to get into a fight with. Zach Sills in Germany. Dion Phaneuf hasn't officially announced his retirement from the NHL, but after being bought out by the Kings, he will be the third highest salary cap hit for any defenseman that the Ottawa Senators have next season. No, I am not joking. And Randy Carlyle still can't get that toaster to work. If you're wondering what the overall number of players that played for the Leafs that year is, it is 40. And after looking at that roster and going through where all the players are right now, I'm not too down on this year's team, and neither should you.